Well, let's now discuss this new platform further with Joram Ongura. He is the CEO of SBG Securities in Uganda. Great to have you on the show with us today, Mr. Ongura. Now, certainly this new platform is a series of firsts, especially for Uganda. It will be the country's first mobile phone-based stock trading platform. And it's also a first in terms of a partnership between a telecom operator and, of course, a stock exchange. What makes this platform so significant, and how does it compare to other stock trading apps that are already quite popular in this side of the world?
Thank you. Good evening, viewers. Good afternoon or good morning. Yes, if I could just address that, I mean, the platform economy has been on the rise, and this has been powered by the shift from from an industry economics perspective to an infrastructure as well as a behavioral experience for customers. So this is quite not new for the stock market because ideally all this is evolving together, whatever the dynamics we've seen changing across the spectrum. So as the partnership with the telcos, we've seen as this has greatly improved on activity, in that we've seen a number of Ugandans there, find eventually, accessing through their phones can actually register and apply to open up the account on the Uganda Securities Exchange, which of course, helps us deliver on the whole financial inclusion, where you're having more Ugandans participating in the market. So also the processes of you actually going through this is quite unique in the region. I must say it's the first of its kind, where you actually have an investor, a local investor, actually, dial in a special, the usual dial in a special number, which number ideally is interlinked to the securities depository account. So you find that as an investor, you're only required to just provide your national identification number, which of course is validated against the telecom KYC, and eventually an account is set up for you at the Uganda Securities Exchange. Thank you.
Well, let's delve a bit further into what this app is all about, because the Uganda Stock Exchange has just about 38,000 investors. It trades just about 17 stocks. So realistically, it's not the most liquid exchange on the continent. Now, its equity market, we know, has struggled with liquidity, especially since the pandemic. So how do you expect this app to impact investor interest? Do you think there'll be investor interest in trading equities in the Ugandan market? And certainly, how do you think it'll impact activity going forward?
All right, thank you. Yes, if I would say that on a lighter note, but also as a positive for us is that from the time when this activation was launched, we've seen significant numbers in terms of number of Ugandans open up accounts. I could just comment for SBG Securities, we've seen our numbers really go by about 30-40% in less than a week. So that is quite positive, and this should be ideally help us deliver on the awareness about the capital markets, which we've seen has been a hindrance in terms of activity, hence coming back to the issue of liquidity. So if the more we see more Ugandans participating in some of the concerns of liquidity, some of this could be addressed, because we've seen 17 count stocks are listed, most of those of which are cross-listed. But again, for just the local listed entities, we've not seen so much activity. And we've noticed that, the activity in our market is mostly dominated by international investors. So this is a whole, new change that will, of course, will improve on the local activity. Thank you.
And let's delve further into how, because as an investment firm in Uganda, give us more insight into how you plan to use this app also to attract more Ugandans, to get them to embrace stock trading and, of course, other non-traditional investments in Uganda.
I must say that, being part of a group that has, that has been in existence for more than 100 years with experience and, and the appreciation of financial products, we are able to actually structure in new products, but again, create products that ideally could suit the retail investor. Of course, hence delivery on the participation. Sorry about that. But away from that, also, we are currently going through a licensing regime where we hope eventually to bring a couple of new markets or new products into the market. But it's always advantageous when you have a large pool of customers already signed into the market. So this ideally should help us deliver and achieve our objective. Thank you.
Well, we'll certainly be watching that closely. Many thanks, Mr. Ongura, for your insights there. That, of course, is Joram Ongura, CEO of SBG Securities in Uganda.